Have you ever wondered what you would do if everything you owned was gone overnight? Not broken, not stolen, but completely destroyed? This is the story of a woman who lost everything and still chose to build something beautiful from nothing. After Hurricane Katrina, the lower Ninth Ward of New Orleans looked like the end of the world. Homes were gone, streets were silent. Memories were buried under thick mud. Among the ruins stood a woman named Elaine. Her house had been underwater for 3 long weeks. When the water finally left, it didn't leave life behind. Everything was ruined. The walls were soft. The furniture was rotten. Photos were blurred beyond recognition. The smell of mold filled the air. Rescue workers came and told her, "You need to leave. There's nothing here anymore. Nothing." That word echoed in the empty space around her. But Elaine didn't move. She stood quietly on what used to be her home. She looked at the broken wood, the mud, the silence, and then she said something strange. "My kitchen is still here." People thought she was in shock. There was no kitchen. No stove, no walls. But Elaine believed something different. She started digging through the ruins. Hour after hour, day after day. Her hands were covered in dirt, back ached. But she didn't stop. Then finally, she found it. A cast iron pot. It was covered in rust. It looked useless, like everything else. But to Elaine, it was not just a pot. It was a memory. It was a symbol. It was a beginning. She spent 3 full days cleaning it. Salt, vinegar, patience. Slowly, the black surface came back, and with it, something inside her came back too. Because sometimes, the smallest thing can remind you of who you are. Hope does not come from what you have. It comes from what you choose to see. Elaine didn't rebuild her house first. She rebuilt something else. She set up a small folding table outside her tent. No walls, no proper kitchen. Just a pot, a fire, and her hands. And she started cooking. Red beans and rice, okra soup, fried catfish. Simple food, but full of warmth. The ingredients came from relief supplies. Nothing special, but what she created was special, because she cooked with heart. At first, people walked by slowly. They were tired, lost, broken. Then they smelled it. That smell, it stopped them. It pulled them closer. And then something unexpected happened. People started crying, because it wasn't just food. It was home. It was memory. It was comfort. It was a piece of life they thought they had lost forever. Elaine didn't charge money. She didn't ask questions. If you came, you got a bowl. Simple as that. Day by day, more people came back. Not because their houses were ready, but because their hearts needed a place to gather. Soon, tents turned into small shelters. Strangers became neighbors again. People sat together, they talked, they laughed. Slowly at first, then more freely. And all of it started with one woman, one pot. Sometimes rebuilding a life doesn't start with walls. It starts with people. The lower Ninth Ward was still broken, but something was changing, not in the buildings, but in the spirit. Years passed, the city slowly rebuilt, houses returned, streets came alive again, and Elaine, she never stopped cooking. What started as a folding table in the dirt became something more. A small restaurant. Nothing fancy, no luxury, but always full. Because people didn't just come for food, they came for a feeling. On the wall of that restaurant, there is an old photo. It's faded and yellow. The picture, you see a woman standing in ruins. Around her broken wood, mud, destruction. In her hands, one dark, worn pot. And under that photo, there is a sentence she always says. On top of ruins, you can build something even stronger than before. That sentence is not just about buildings. It's about life. Because every one of us will face storms. Some will take small things. Some will take everything. But the question is never what you lost. The real question is, what will you do next? Will you walk away? Or will you find your one pot? Your skill, your strength, your purpose. Because success is not built in perfect conditions. Success is built in broken moments. The moment you stop waiting for everything to be perfect is the moment your life begins again. Elaine didn't wait for help. She became help. She didn't wait for hope. She created it. And that is why her story matters. Because you may not control the storm, but you always control your response. So if you are going through a hard time right now, If your life feels like a mess, if everything feels lost, remember this. You don't need everything to start again. You only need one thing. One skill, one idea, one small step, and the courage to begin. Because sometimes, it's the smallest beginning creates the biggest change. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video. Leave a comment and tell us, what is your one pot? Subscribe to the channel for more powerful life stories like this. Your story is not over. It's just waiting for you to rebuild it.